We're here to give you the game so you don't get your shot blocked. We made the mistakes so you won't have to. Free game.
So what brought about the name change?
So the main thing was finding out who I was. I know that when we're born, we're born into whatever theology or ideologies that we're given. So I did a lot of research and I realized, am I really African American?
And what prompted the research?
My brother's death prompted the research for sure. He told my mother, and my mother told me this, that if Javez would just wake up to who he really is, then that boy would be a force to be reckoned with. And with that said, right there, I just started thinking like, damn, what does that really mean? And my father, that's when I introduced a better relationship with my father. My father called me over and said he had some history for me to research. And I said, all right, bet, went over there and man, it was real intense. So yeah, that's what prompted the research, him and my father.
And I remember, us talking at the lunch table one day. We was at work having lunch. Yeah. And you talked about hidden colors, and that kind of prompted your navigation into, I'm not sure if I would say the culture or introduce you to the Hebrews.
Yeah, so Hidden Colors was the first video I watched. And then I went into A Message to the Black Man by Bishop Nathaniel with IUIC, which is Israel United in Christ. That's the acronyms. And when I seen Bishop Nathaniel, because I thought I knew a lot, when I seen that man and I start reading something, I started looking at that stuff and reading stuff, getting the books and start piecing it. I told my brother the other day, one of my longtime brothers, I told him, I said, man, I don't think I came out the room for a year. I was literally in my room studying for like a year. I don't even think I showered, man. Like I was just in there studying, man.
Nah, that's dedication, man. Yeah. That's dedication. I know I've heard somebody mention Hidden Colors recently, and although we talked about it, I still haven't watched it. I know that's something that I need to eventually watch. There's always debates and different perspectives when it comes down to, different theologies or religious beliefs. For me, I never really engaged in those types of discussions because it's history based, and, I wasn't necessarily around to witness the information being passed down. Do you feel like you argue with people a lot?
Yeah, I used to. Passion would take over. Passion can be the captain of your ship. You just have to know how to kind of bring it back a little bit, because it's not to be debated. And then, when you argue with somebody, you believe that you're in such a position, in such a God position, that you can change a person's mind. I don't believe that. I believe that I believe and I know that I'm a seed planter. I literally just go by and plant seeds. Why? Because I can plant a seed in your mind that sits in your subconscious until the creator is ready to bring it to your conscious mind. So I'm not the person to say, hey, yo, I'm gonna bring this to your conscious mind today. No. Now, if that happens, then all praises, right? But for the most part, I'm just here to plant the seed. And when I plant that seed, I know for a fact, I don't care if it's, hey, yo, we're the real Jews. Every Black, Hispanic, and Native American are the true Jews. We're the real Israelites. We are Hebrews. We come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, literally. And if I say that to you, you might hear it down the line, 7 years down the line, and that person might bring that subconscious to your conscious mind, and you won't even get any type of love for what you said to that person. Reason being is because it sits in your subconscious. I'm not in a God position to argue with anybody. Absolutely. No, it's not a debate. I say what I say and I keep it pushing. And I defend what I know. I don't believe, because I believe that I could drink that Hennessy bottle behind you too. Right? Right? That's a belief.
Right.
I ain't in that. Nah, I know for a fact.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you're a deep brother. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you contain and you hold a lot of knowledge. To backtrack a little, I know growing up you wanted to play football, but you also had a love for boxing. How did that develop?
Man, my father was a football head. He was big on football, and he had my back in that area. He said, "No, bro, you're gonna play some football." And I played football, and I was him. I didn't even realize how good I really was. My high school still called me a legend to this day. They have it written in stone. Like they have a legend sheet, and I'm on that legend sheet.
Man,
yeah.
I noticed you would, because football is kind of like a universal. When I say universal, but as far as America, you know, I feel like that's America's game. But Cleveland specifically is like a hot spot in the boxing industry. One of the more notable boxers from your area, Adrian Broner, AB, I kind of always wondered how places like Jersey, Philly, Cleveland are so prevalent in the sport of boxing.
Just think about it, right? Houston is more big, right? It's open, right? You have the freedom to. Cleveland, I told you in the beginning of our conversation that it's a sink or swim type of culture. So with that said, you got to know how to fight. If you don't know how to fight, anybody know how to pull a trigger, so you better go get you a gun, right? So with that said, in those up north economies, they're more strenuous. So it builds fighters, right? So with that said, football down here or in Florida or whatever the case may be, not saying that they don't have any ghettos or crime or whatever, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is up north is a smaller area with a lot of crime that builds a crazy culture and just has, and the economics has a lot to do with that. So with that said, we're fighters. We're fighters. So Cleveland and that culture builds fighters.
Man, so it kind of like coincides with what you said earlier about crabs in the bucket, and being that the area is so small, you have people, you know, clustered on top of each other, and that causes friction. That causes, you know, all these negative components, and it's harder to build when everything is cluttered. You know, you really can't build that foundation. Man, so boxing, football. You said you were a legend in high school. So did you play football in college?
Yeah, so I went to Wisconsin. That's funny, man. I looked up my information, man. I didn't think I was old. Most of that stuff is not. A lot of 24/7s and a lot of these different internet programs that have rankings weren't around when I was playing, and that sucks, man. I got a lot of newspaper clippings, man. So yeah, I played in Wisconsin, man.
Nah, yeah, we come from a different time. You know, I feel like we were in between the transition of the internet era.
Fact.
You know, YouTube and all those things, although they were kind of around, they really weren't that prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Versus the kids today can throw up a highlight reel and they can, just really build more off of, you know, what they've done. They have an accumulation of work all in, you know what I'm saying, in one place. So you played college ball, and then you hit an audible and start boxing?
Yeah, so I played ball, came back home, messed up a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. I should have just, anyway, had my son King Jr., right? And then I was already fighting while I was playing football. I was already boxing while I was playing football, but I was more playing football. So I would go to these football camps like Maryland, Illinois, Wisconsin. I went to some other Big Ten schools. With that said, transitioned, had my son, and I started fighting as well. So when I started back fighting, my son started growing up, and I started just training. I'm like, oh wow, wait, I'm a good trainer too. I could talk, I could bring the best out of people. People actually like me and look up to me. And I was like, wait, hold on. My son he's a little 2-year-old little dude. I'm just start training my son. Like, hold on, let me train him. Let me give him everything I know.